Welcome to another episode of The American Dream. And let me tell you, this is the last episode of The American Dream. Well, at least the current version. We have reformatted the show. We are going a whole new direction, faster pace, new format, really exciting, out on the street. This is the last time you're going to see me wearing this suit, to be honest with you. Check out our new show open as a preview to what's going to start next week. Let's start the show right now.
We do it in the spirit of going against the grain in the negative media, giving inspiring information, and having people walk away from our show with something of value.
You're seeing a disruption in both the real estate and the mortgage space.
A lot of people are just not willing to put in the work.
What video does is that it demands an emotional response.
You know what I love about this show? It's totally unscripted.
Welcome to The American Dream. We're excited to have back in the studio again Kathy Fettke. She is the CEO of Real Wealth Network. Great to have you here, Kathy.
Thank you.
I said the name right, too,
you
didn't I?
Real Wealth Network. Yes, it's a mouthful.
I love it. I know you've been in here before, and they've had some great conversations. You've talked with many of our hosts. But today, I want to ask you what's going on with rising interest rates. How is that affecting the market from your perspective?
Well, in a lot of places, it is doing what it's supposed to do, which is slow it down a little bit. Home prices have been on a tear for 10 years. And normally, everything is cyclical about every 10 years. So if you remember, exactly 10 years ago.
Oh, we remember.
You remember! Something happened in 2008 that a lot of people remember. There was a complete housing meltdown. So people are asking, oh boy, are we headed for that? Because there is a bit of a slowdown. What a lot of people don't understand is when the Federal Reserve raises rates, there's one reason, and that is to slow things down because it's moving too fast. Prices can't accelerate at a 10%, 20% clip every year forever. It just can't work. So rising interest rates, slow it down. You just need to expect it. There shouldn't be all these headlines saying, oh my gosh, housing is slowing down. That's the point.
The hype isn't necessary.
It isn't. But there's a positive and negative to everything. If you own an asset, if you bought housing in the last 10 years, you've seen equity growth. If you haven't bought anything, it's been almost impossible to get into the market these past few years. So now as that's reversing a bit, those who have been trying to get in are going to have a little bit of a better chance because prices will slow down. The price growth will hopefully slow down a little.
So it seems only fair, which then, to ask the question then, is it a good time to buy?
It's always a good question. And some real estate agents will say, of course, it's always a good time to buy, right? It depends on where you are. And it depends on you and what you're looking for. So if you are looking to settle down, have a family, get married, stay there for a long time, historically, prices continue to rise over time, and you're going to raise your family. So as long as you can make the payment and that's a comfortable place to live and raise your kids, do it. Over time, it will pay off, and you'll pay off that loan as well instead of just paying rent. But if you're not sure, and you might be moving or you might sell in the next couple of years, I might consider either renting where you want to live and investing elsewhere, which is really what we're known for, is saying, hey, you don't necessarily have to buy real estate right where you live. For example, in San Francisco, we know it's peaked. It has gone way over what's affordable for any normal person, and even a not normal person. Even if you make $200,000 or $300,000 a year, you're struggling to own a home there. So maybe now, not now, and again, unless you're going to hold it for 30 years. Right. But maybe instead you could live in San Francisco and rent, and maybe buy a house in Dallas and rent it to someone else.
That's great advice.
Maybe buy a house in Florida. Keep building the real estate portfolio, but where it makes sense.
So then what's your perspective if somebody's looking at maybe, multi-unit properties? So all right, we're buying somewhere else. What's your thoughts on that?
You just need to know what you're doing. I mean, that's what we specialize in educating people on how to invest properly so that you never get stuck in another 2008. Now, back in 2008, when people were losing everything, our members were actually making money. Because if you understood what was happening, which was California was in a huge fat bubble, but there were other places that weren't, like Texas. Now, why did we know that Texas wasn't in a bubble in 2006 when every other market was? Because there was massive job growth, massive population growth, migration, and guess what? Not enough housing. And everyone thinks, oh, there's nothing but land in Texas, but it takes a long time to get land developed and have the resources and the utilities and everything. So just because there's land doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to all be developed. So we knew that people could sell their overpriced property and exchange it tax deferred through a 1031 exchange, so not even pay tax on all that gain, and buy in a market that's just at the beginning of its boom. So many of our members at Real Wealth Network got out of the crisis in time, got into a better market, got 4 to 5 times the cash flow they would have gotten in California, and only watched their equity grow. So they didn't even feel a recession.
That's incredible. And so, you know, when we always talk about empowering the American dream here, it doesn't, like you're saying, just have to mean your own residence and where you live. I love it. You're empowering really great ideas that are outside the box, but still could have such a huge advantage with where the market is today, where it could be tomorrow, looking at where we've been. And I love your advice on that. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing that today. I think our viewers are really going to gain something, and I hope they reach out to you to say, okay, how do we implement this? So that was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kathy. We'll be right back with more of the American Dream.
Well, here's an exciting announcement for you. The American Dream has been a national show for a few years now, but we are reformatting everything. We're trying to keep up with the times, fast pace, run and gun, a lot of stuff happening in digital and social as well. We are going to trailblaze some new content and new distribution so you can catch it every week on the show, but also online. Coming up now is an example of a segment that you're going to see the new flavor of the American Dream. Let's check it out.
What I love most about San Diego is the pace. People move here because they know that life is short. You gotta live it in a place that recognizes that. You know, I would always joke I can go from business suit to wetsuit in 15 minutes on a Friday afternoon. I think I've got it beat. I've got it down to about 12 minutes now. That's what living in San Diego is about. Today I'm going to take you guys to a property that we just put on the market in Sapphire Tower. This condo is probably one of the best properties, one of the best views in all of San Diego. On the way, we're going to pick something up special for the sellers. We're going to go to Donut Bar. Actually, it's here right now. Let's get some donuts. Could I get some creme brulee and then a Boston cream and a chocolate euphoria? I was gonna have a beer, but I think it's too early.
It's not too early, sir. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Thanks. When you're in downtown San Diego, you might walk right by it and think it's nothing, but the Donut Bar has been on USA Today, it's been on the Thrillist, it's been on TripAdvisor. This is probably one of the hottest donut bars in America, and we got it in our backyard. This penthouse listing is actually really personal to me because not only do we have a listing on one of the most expensive penthouses downtown San Diego, I was working on this project when I was 19 years old as an intern for the builder. So to come around 16 years later and have a listing of this caliber is something that really means a lot to us. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 3,000 square feet, but you're not just buying it because of the stats, you're buying it because of the materials, you're buying it because of the Sub-Zero commercial wine fridge, the Miele, the Wolf, all these materials are absolute top of the line, and for an affluent penthouse buyer, they're the units, materials that you would really want. The reason I would buy this property is this room right here. One of my favorite rooms in the penthouse is the master bedroom. It's got floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall windows. It overlooks over $2 trillion in downtown penthouse living. You can see out of this window to Mexico. You can see Coronado Islands in the San Diego Bay. I like to joke that this is a 50 Shades of Grey style penthouse. And I like to think that Christian Grey himself would love this one feature that he has right here. And this is a hidden staircase, in case you have guests that need to leave in a hurry. You know, the reality is for $3 million you could buy a lot of house, right? But you can't replicate this view. You know, that beach across the street, that's a white sand beach I surfed out this morning. For a local San Diegan, you know you're looking at basically the best of our city all in one shot. So as great as the inside of this property is, you realize that it takes all of it to make it one of the best properties in San Diego.
All right, and cut. Good job, guys.
We're done?
We're done.
You want a donut?
Yes.
Welcome back. We take you out to Seattle, where we have back on the show today Robert Ott, who's a manager broker at Compass Real Estate, and John Boller is also back, co-founder and chief strategist of Grid Consulting. Gentlemen, it's so great to have you here. I know that our topic today is all about HOA dues, so I'm just going to come out the gate and ask you both, are you for them or against them?
Perfect. Thank you. Always great to see you, Sarah. Thanks for having us on. So there's always a talk about when we're talking with clients about what they want to buy, what they want to accomplish, and the topic of HOA dues come up all the time. Should I be paying them or should I not be paying them? And so that's what we want to discuss today.
Yeah, so myself being a first-time home buyer, that was a topic that everyone brought up. Like, oh, you're going to pay HOAs. It's a very scary thought. It's often a big number. And it was really about, like, what am I going to get for that? Well, if I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars a month, I hope that I have somebody at the front desk. I have a gym. I have free parking. I have all these things that are there to help me make my life easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. So, what are HOA dues and why do they exist?
All right, that's a great question. So a lot of people think that HOA dues are this extra fee that's put onto a home, that it goes to this mysterious fund and it's just money out of your pocket. But it's really important to figure out, where do they really go to, right? So you look at certain condominiums or certain houses, and the homeowners dues, HOA stands for Homeowner Association. It's actually made up by the Homeowner Association, or the homeowners themselves. And they figure out what it's going to go to. Sometimes it pays for your garbage, your water, your sewer. You're going to have those bills in a house anyway. It also goes to things like exterior maintenance, making sure you have money in an account for your roof when it goes bad, painting your house, all those little things that we sometimes take for granted that someday when you own a house you got to pay for. In a condo, they save that money for you. That's what your dues go to.
Okay, so it actually, for some people, that might seem to be a real big plus and positive. Now, what is the difference, I would say, between places that have these HOA dues and places that don't?
Yeah, so there's the HOA condo building where I'm basically paying for a bunch of services that I otherwise would have to pay for. You have condo buildings that don't have an HOA, and then often the building is, you have to do a lot of extra things, or it may not be as clean. And then you have the single family home that Robert lives in, that he does everything. Like, how do you deal with dealing with everything versus me having somebody do it for me?
Yeah, that is the difference. So John here, he's the condo guy. He's the one who says, I'm for HOA dues. I'm not saying I'm against HOA dues, but I'm the single family, no rule, no regulation guy, where I want to make sure that when I live in my house, no one's going to tell me how much money I have to save up every month to have money for my roof. So I think the beauty is in the eye of the beholder type here. So some people say, I want the convenience of making sure when I go on vacation or when I do something, I come back and everything is okay. I don't have to worry about my home. No, the sewer bill's always paid, the water bill's always paid, all that.
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon takes care of everything. And then there's the other side that says, I'll take the risk. I don't want to pay the monthly stipend, the monthly HOA dues, and I'm just going to deal with everything myself. So neither are bad, but I think it's important to understand that HOA dues are not a bad thing.
Right.
They do help people.
Now, how do you
Totally agree.
How do you help clients who are maybe on the fence about what to do, especially if it comes down to kind of the financial aspect of stuff, what might work out better for them, either paying those HOA dues, going into a condominium or a planned urban development, or just having a single family home and doing everything themselves?
No, can I answer this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do this all the time. It's really important to check to see what the HOA dues cover and then write it down. Right? Say, okay, water bill, sewer bill, maintenance, lawn care, all these things. And then get another ledger and say, when I own a house, I don't have to typically pay these dues. What do these cost me? Right? So these HOA dues, maybe they're $300 a month, maybe they're $500 a month. What am I getting? And how does that compare to a single family home? Am I making money or losing money here? Right? So I just try to make it out financially so they see that's apples to apples. Like either way, you're paying your water bill. Either way, you're paying.
At a high level, Robert does his own gardening, and in an HOA building, somebody does the gardening for us.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. If you have someone to do it myself, yes.
Well, one last question for you, John, and then we'll wrap up here. How do people find the right condominium complex or homeowners association to settle into?
Sure, great question. I think a lot of it has to do with your lifestyle. For instance, in a place like Seattle, there isn't great parking all around. There's not great options. It's going to cost you a lot of money to pay for that. But I also look at the fees, like what Robert just said, of the gym or the people that are working at the front desk to help with your packages. So I think it's to each person to decide what types of things are they going to value in regards to convenience. And for me, I find a lot of value in having people there to help support the ease of lifestyle.
Perfect. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for helping to, clear up any confusion if people have it about the types of dues that they might face with HOA and if getting a single family residence is more their speed. So thank you so much. Great to have you both.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate everything.
You got it. And stick around. American Dream will be right back.
Hi, I'm Ed Laine, and this is Janice Cai, and we're with Hometown Advisor Real Estate.
Hi, we are here at this beautiful home located in Mercer Island, 7406 North Mercer Way, to show you some tips about the spring maintenance. And because the spring is coming and the sun is out and the tulips are starting to sprout, let's work around and see what kind of work we need to do to make your home more beautiful and more enjoyable. Shall we work around?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Your lawn really is the centerpiece of your landscaping, and what a lot of people don't realize is a good clean edge on your lawn will make the entire lawn look a lot better. Now this time of year, there's a couple other things you should focus on. Number one is aeration, the other is thatching. When you aerate and thatch, it actually gets all of the dead grass out and it allows the water to get down to the root system. And in the end, your lawn will be much, much greener.
Yeah, don't forget about your planting beds. That's very important as well. So as do you know, for this house, there is an irrigation system, so they can use the water from the lake in the summer. That's a lot of money saving for the summer.
Yeah. In the Northwest, with our wet winters, when the sun comes out on a spring day like it is today, the moss just goes bananas and comes up. If you pressure wash your driveways and your walkways though, it's gonna make your house pop. And it's almost the same as getting your teeth cleaned. When your driveway is bright and white, it makes your house look awesome. And one thing I'll show you about this particular house is it actually has a built-in integrated pressure washer that you can use to clear the walkways and the driveways. So you're really gonna enjoy that.
The same goes with your dog. If you're lucky enough to have one,
Yeah.
get rid of the screen and make it sparkle. It's not only look great for your dog, and it's safer as well.
That's good advice. Safe is good.
Yeah.
Let's go inside and see what else we can spruce up for the spring.
Sure. Spring is also a great time to do the periodical maintenance, just as you do throughout the year.
Yeah, for example, changing batteries in your smoke detectors, changing batteries in your carbon monoxide detectors. In fact, now it's a federal law that you have to have both of those in your home. So if you are thinking about selling, make sure you install carbon monoxide detectors because there's many homes that don't have those automatically already in place. You know, another thing you should think about this time of year is your furnace. You should be changing your filters every 90 days. So if you haven't done it for a little while, that's okay, but change them now. And the other thing to think about is cleaning out your ductwork. That's a good idea to do it once a year, and spring's a perfect time to do it.
I hope you were able to pick up some tips about springing, because the days is getting longer and the weather is getting nice. And also, if you have been wondering the location we are working around, actually this is my current listing in Mercer Island. This is a magnificent custom-built home. It's about 8,000 square foot with a private dock and in almost half acre actually. And if you want to schedule private showing, visit my website, seattletopproperties.com.
Yeah, and if you'd like to find out more about our comprehensive off-market system, where we give people priority access to homes like this one before they go on the MLS or the internet, come and visit us at our website, wholesalehomeaccess.com. Other than that, we hope you picked up some insight on how to make your home pop this spring, and thank you for joining us. Back to you in the studio.
Hi, I'm Heather Osgood with Sotheby's International Realty. I'm here in Enumclaw, Washington today at the Seattle Polo and Equestrian Club. We're going to take a quick tour, take a look and see what's going on, so let's get going. So I'm here today with Cameron Smith, who is the owner of the Seattle Polo and Equestrian Club, and we're in Enumclaw, and it's gorgeous. So would you mind telling me a little bit about the process and how you found the property and then what you put into it?
Sure. I was actually, my parents had a little farm up north in Camano Island and was keeping my horses there during the summer, but I didn't have a place to ride or play, and I started having more horses than would fit on theirs. And so I was looking for a little piece of property where I could kind of keep my horses and maybe put a little stick and ball field in. And I found this foreclosed equestrian center. It had been vacant for a couple of years, and I came out and looked at it one day in the spring. It was a beautiful day, and Mount Rainier was in the background, and I overlooked this cow pasture with a bunch of cows in it, and I stood on the edge of this pasture, and I said, oh my gosh, this would be an incredible place to watch a polo game. Every summer, I just keep adding on and finding things to improve and trying to make polo better in the Northwest.
So you have a playing field and a stick and ball field. What are the size differences?
So the regulation polo field is 300 yards long by 160 yards wide.
Okay.
When you get to a practice field, it's about 2/3 that size.
Okay.
And so the practice field we use for sticking balling, we use it for coaching league, for beginners, and we use it to train and school horses.
What is your season? What's the time frame?
We start in the beginning of June, and usually the first month we do a lot of polo clinics and try to get new people in so they can have the whole summer to learn and take coaching league.
Sure.
And we usually go till about the middle of September.
And then I think I saw on your website you have other trainers in the facility as well.
Yep, we have an equestrian center which operates year round. We have 2 trainers that work out of the equestrian center. One does eventing and one is a hunter jumper. So they use the indoor arena, the outdoor arena. We have a covered round pen.
Nice.
And they're able to use that facility. We've got 60 stalls, we've got birthing stalls.
So I know that you do the Seattle Polo Party.
So part of building a polo club in an area where there's no polo is trying to bring people into the sport and get exposure to the sport. And it started as a tournament where we called it the Seattle Cup. And we did that for 3 years. And the 3rd year we did it, we had 6 teams come. We did the tournament over 3 days. And we had like 600 people, come and show up. This year we're expecting well over 1,000. We've grown the VIP area. We do a women's hat parade at halftime.
Always part
with a divot stomp. Yeah. And so it's pretty amazing to see guys dress up in seersucker suits and derby hats, and the women are all in sundresses and hats, and everybody's just enjoying themselves and having a great time. This year we're bringing an international team in. We're basically creating a Seattle Polo team with the 4 best players in the state of Washington.
Okay.
And those 4 players are going to take on an international team with players from Haiti, South Africa, Argentina, and Nigeria.
Oh my gosh. Well, I sure appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, and enjoy the facility.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, well, we had a great afternoon today out here at the Seattle Polo and Equestrian Club. Great fun getting to know the people involved. As you know, I specialize in acreage and equestrian properties, farm and ranch throughout the Seattle area and down into Portland. But we'll bring you another feature of another great horse property, so look forward to seeing you again soon.
Hi, this is Alise with Alise Roberts & Company. Every seller wants to get top dollar when they list their home, but there are 4 essential components to obtain the highest price. Number 1, pricing. Many sellers feel pricing high is the best strategy, reasoning it will leave room to negotiate, right? Wrong. Most often, this strategy works against you. If a home is overpriced, you'll get fewer showings. Fewer showings mean less likelihood of getting an offer quickly. But why would you want to get an offer quickly? The faster you get an offer, the higher the price you'll get. Once a home has been on the market for over 30 days, data shows you'll sell for far less than if you had priced the home right to begin with. And if you price your home correctly, there's a good chance you'll get more than one offer, which could result in a bidding war higher than your listing price. Number 2, presentation. Have you seen the extent a car dealership goes through to make a used car look shiny and new? The car's history is examined, mechanical and electrical systems are checked out, the interior is cleaned and detailed, and All this is completed in order to make the car as enticing as possible and to bring in the highest dollar. Friends, this is a lesson in marketing. Please, someone tell me why homes are listed for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and yet all you feel you need to do is put an open house sign out. The presentation process is vital to your results. It should include fixing anything that's out of order, detailing the interior, cleaning up the landscaping, and my oh my, a coat of paint and new carpet go a long way. This will make buyers feel the home has been well maintained, which makes them want the home more. Number 3, marketing. It's a seller's market. Who needs fancy marketing? Is that how business owners feel? No, marketing is everywhere, and successful businesses know the importance that good marketing plays in their overall success. The same is true with selling your home. You must have extensive marketing that's implemented on day one. This should include impressive online presentation, beautiful print media, and high-end photos and video. If your home is marketed right, it's going to tell the world that it's something special, and they better rush out to see it before it's sold. Number 4, negotiating. I can't express enough the important role an experienced agent plays in getting the highest price. Negotiating is an art, and when you interview the agent, you'll know they have it. Your agent should have the skill set to impress you, impress potential buyers, and have a track record of selling homes for more than the competition. Don't leave money on the table. If you have all 4 of these ingredients, when you list your home, you'll have the recipe to sell it for the maximum dollar possible.
That's all for today's show. Hope you enjoyed it. Starting next week, we got a whole new format and look for you. It's going to be run and gun, fast-paced, really, really exciting stuff. Call it American Dream 2.0. We're launching on Apple, Amazon, and Roku. If you want to learn more about the show, you want to follow us and breathe oxygen into this positive message, make sure you visit us online. That's all for today. Next week, an exciting show coming your way. Hope you can check it out. See you next week.